by quoting this statement, say fertility is a silent thief of a woman's psychological stability and sanity in one hand. Socio-economic status and significance. On the other hand, he said it strips a woman the joy of womanhood and motherhood, and leaves the woman completely disenfranchised from the very essence of humanity. In
this
other words,
social impact is more on the woman.
Yes. So this infertility, WHO has defined it as a disease entity. Yes.
With
it's
symptoms
a disease
and...
entity. Yes, because you look at it, something affects you socially, affects you psychologically, affects you economically,
financially,
affects you psychologically. I mean, that is the same thing other diseases do. So your question on what do I advise young girls to do? That question is like, how do we prevent infertility? We prevent infertility by avoiding all those causes we mentioned about. In terms of infection, abstinence, being faithful to your partner, or using condom to avoid those infections. If you've got infections, present to hospital on time so that we'll treat you before the thing damages your reproductive organs. Education. We have to really educate these children from
sex education.
From the scratch, yes. Reproductive and sexual health education. We have to inculcate it in our primary and secondary schools so that before they grow into maturity, they have known what are the causes, how are we going to prevent that. Lifestyle modifications too. In order to combat the risk factors associated with infertility. I think these are the things. Then government should also assist couples who are infertile, because I think most of them, when they have problems, the reason why they go to all those medical people is that they don't have money to approach the clinics. Yes, the clinics. Government should have a way of subsidizing their treatment. Donor agencies should look into that. So if we're able to prevent all those risk factors and causes, we'll be able to reduce infertility. Because if it has come, it has come. Maybe we didn't have time to go into the apart from cost, other implications of infertility.
Mental health.
Yes, they are numerous.
All right. Maybe we'll have you back for a second part of this interview, because there's a lot of sides perspectives to this. All right, Dr. Anayajuku Innocent, we thank you so much for your time. He's a consultant gynecologist and obstetrician, a fertility specialist, and minimal access surgeon. I learned that today. Thank you so much for your time on the show.
Thank you.
All right, there you have it, friends. I'm sure you must have picked a thing or two. Don't forget, your health is your responsibility. We want to hear from you, so go on over to our social media platforms on Facebook or YouTube at Signature TV Official. Go like, comment, share your views, share your thoughts, and probably your experiences. Don't forget to be on SLT channel 265, and do go and download the Signature TV app on Google Play. Well, that's how much we can take. I'm still your host, Chigichi Agorom. Bye for now.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far. Wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Hello and welcome to Teens Should Know, the show where we listen, where we learn, and where we grow. The TSK show is where teenagers are empowered with the right knowledge to thrive and parents are equipped with the right tools to guide them, because when teenagers know better, they will definitely do better. My name is Ifoma the Prof. Wato, and I'm your host on the TSK show for today. And today's conversation is one that hits close to home because teenagers are going to school, they are writing exams, and they are doing all sorts within the four walls of the classroom. And at the end of the exams, they are getting results, but the real question is that enough for the future of the teenager of today? So because beyond the classroom, life demands more. It demands confidence, decision-making, emotional intelligence, and real-life skills that are not always taught in school. So today we are asking an honest question. Are teenagers truly being prepared for the future, or are they just being trained to pass? Today we are discussing school and real-life skills. Are teenagers being prepared for the future? We'll go on a short break, and when we return, I have two guests with me on today's show, and they are teenagers, and they will be sharing their thoughts and ideas. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back soon.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking. Events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Okay, welcome back. This is the TSK show on Signature TV, and we are looking at school and real life skills if teenagers are prepared for the future. And joining me on the show today are two amazing young people who represent the voice of this generation. They are not just students going through the system, they are teenagers experiencing firsthand what it means to balance school, expectations, and real life. They bring fresh perspectives, honest experiences, and real conversations about what it truly feels like to grow up in today's world. I'm really excited to have them here as we unpack this important topic together. I have with me, say ladies first, right? Yes. So I have Precious Udochukwu and Precious Asogwa with me on the show. Welcome to the TSK show.
Thank you.
Okay. So we'll go right into the discussion for today. You'll be speaking on behalf of many other teenagers that are listening and are watching as well. So let's go with the first question. To both of you, you will answer first, then he will answer. Do you think the school is really preparing the teenager for the future? Do you think so? If yes, why? If no, why?
For me, I feel like the school is mainly teaching people how to pass exams. They're not really teaching students real life skills. Because I remember when I first left secondary school, I thought it was going to be easy because I was among the top of my class. But that was not the case.
Okay.
So the main thing about school, they teach theoretical processes.
Okay.
But life is about practical skills,
Okay.
and schools don't really teach skills that teenagers can use to go far in life. That's all I can say about that.
Okay, Precious.
She have answered it all because school doesn't even at all teach us, doesn't prepare us for the future because what they teach us in school is far beyond what we see.
In real life.
Yes.
Okay. So when you think about the future, do you feel confident and prepared? Or do you sometimes feel unsure?
I feel both confident and unsure
Okay.
at the same time.
Okay.
Because when it comes to passing exams, I can do that very well. But schools don't teach us about, let's say, emotional intelligence. That's why there has been an increase in suicide
Okay.
in teenagers. There was a girl that just entered university and she could not deal with the stress, so she decided to take her life.
Oh.
So I feel like things like this should be taught in the schools so that they can prepare teenagers more, because what you see in school is not what you see in real life.
Okay. School doesn't really prepare you for,
Yes.
give you the emotional
The shock that
intelligence
you
and
get when
emotional
you come out.
stability
Yes.
and all of that. So let me ask this other Precious. I have two Precious with me. Okay, Precious, have there been any situation you find yourself and you felt like, oh, I wasn't prepared for this? Okay,
Yes.
just give us an example.
Like the university I'm currently in now. When I was in secondary school or here at university, everyone like, wow, I want to be there, I want to be there. Now we have entered. It was not what they told us there.
That
So
you
we are
see.
sitting down. So
Okay.
and we are not prepared enough. So we are being forced to face and manage it.
Okay, you're still trying to adapt to the system.
Yes,
So can you just give us one particular thing that you're finding very difficult to adjust to away from home, and school did not prepare you, the secondary school did not prepare you for this phase in the university?
Okay, take for instance. Now I'm in the university. I stay alone. I'm far away from my parents, so at home then in secondary school, I'll just wake up. I'll see like meal and hot water is already ready for me to take, but this time around,
You did it by yourself.
you have to do everything by yourself. You come to class. Normally in secondary school, you have your own chair, everything. You read if you don't understand, you ask questions. But in the university, you not sit here, you sit outside. You will not understand anything. You cannot ask the lecturer anything. So it's not.
Okay. From what you said, I know that there are some lecturers that still take questions, but most times I think the relationship is between teachers and the students in the secondary school are more closer than that of the university. Okay, I want to ask, do you think that school teaches you how to think? Because thinking is actually a skill, is an ability. There are people who don't do critical thinking. And I don't think that is always taught in the school. So does school just teach you how to think, or they just teach you how to memorize? You know, because when you're preparing for your exams, you just read and memorize. Okay, noun is the name of noun is the name of a person, animal, place of things, and all of that. Does the school really teach us how to think? Any of you can answer the question.
For me, school teaches people how to memorize.
I'm not to think.
Yes, because let me use exam period for example. A teacher might award more mark to a student that is able to quote them word for word exactly what they taught them. But when you come out in the real world, you notice that people that are able to think on their own, to be innovative, are the ones that are actually rewarded. Because right now, you cannot come out and copy another person's idea and portray it as yours and then still be recognized as someone that is innovative. So I feel like the school teaches us how to memorize, but rather what the real world demands from us is ability to think on our own.
Creativity. Okay, Precious, outside the school, the four walls of the school, where are you learning the things that you think will actually help you in real life? What else is teaching you real life lessons?
Could say from my friends,
Okay.
elderly friends,
Okay.
then my co-students,
Okay.
and from aunties and uncles.
Okay. And not what the school taught you. I think sometimes experiences teach people.
Yes.
Like there are some things school did not teach you. They didn't tell you that you need to wake up in the morning and run around, get water to go for lectures.
Yes.
So I think experience is teaching you that now. So outside the school, you're still learning. Okay. So sometimes, do you feel pressure to perform well academically, and even when it doesn't fully prepare you for real life challenges?
Yes,
Okay.
because the society we live in, especially in Africa, if you don't do well academically, you are considered dumb. No matter, there are some people that are very good in hand skills, but
Okay.
when it comes to academics, they're not that sound.
Mm.
But here, if you don't know book, you are just stupid. Straight up stupid. And people feel like without knowing book, like without being academically sound, that's the only category, or that's the only thing that they use to gauge your knowledge.
Strengths and knowledge.
Yes, because it's not just academics that can determine where someone will be in life. Because the person in your class that might be getting first position might still wake up tomorrow and be the person servicing your car. So I feel like school, the whole society pressures us, even though, well, that's not, school is not just the main thing in life, actually. People can still use hand skills and then still make it in life without being academically sound, without even going to university. And then we just put it like that.
Okay. I like this conversation because what we are looking at is a teenager shouldn't be judged only by their academic performance.
Yes.
They should be judged by their social skills, their emotional intelligence, their confidence, like every other aspect of their life. So one thing this conversation makes clear is that education is important, but real life requires more than just passing exams. So teenagers are looking for direction, they are looking for confidence, life skills, and preparation beyond the classroom. So we'll go on a short break now, and after the break, we are going to look at other things that teenagers need to know to thrive in life. Please stay with us, we'll be right back shortly.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on eVibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
I should try harder. So,
Okay, I don't know that one.
outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hubs on eVibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the TSK show on Signature TV. If you're just joining us, we've been having a very honest conversation on whether teenagers are truly being prepared for the future beyond academics and exams. And from everything we've said so far and everything we've heard so far, it's clear that real life requires more than just grades. So we'll continue this conversation as we explore the skills, the mindset, and preparation teenagers really need to thrive in today's world. Some time ago, I was talking with teenagers and we were looking at soft skills. And some of these things are not being taught in the school, like emotional intelligence, good communication skills, even time management. We hardly talk about these things in the school. And then when the teenager faces the real world, they start struggling. So like when you were talking about the world judging the teenager by only their academic performance, but they forget that we can have an intelligent teenager who is rude and arrogant. So character should also be part of the things, but most of the times school pays attention to more of academic performance than disciplining the teenager to have a good character, because when we don't have responsible teenagers, we end up having dysfunctional adults. So that will lead us to the next question. So Precious, if you have the opportunity to teach one skill to every teenager, what would that be and why?
I think it should be communication skill.
Communication skill.
Yes,
okay.
because I've seen situations, you have all the idea, you have everything, but if you lack how to communicate to the person, you're going to lose everything.
Okay.
So I think it's communication skill.
Communication skill.
Yes.
Okay. Precious, what is that one thing you think teenagers know, or as a teenager, that you wish that adults or this generation understands better?
This particular generation of teenagers are under a lot of pressure.
Okay.
Because, let me use social media for example now. If you go on social media platforms and you see people of the age, about the age of 22, they're already millionaires. They already have 3 cars and 3 houses in 3 different states.
And they'll tell you, I made my first million when
overnight.
I was...
And then people will not be like, if parents will start judging their children, look at what other people's children are doing. What happened to you? People start feeling pressured, and that would lead, I feel like it will lead teenagers into the wrong path, because that's why there's increase in, let's say,
Crime
rituals,
and vices.
exactly, and then people will be like, we don't know where it started, don't know how. So I feel like people should understand that you are under a lot of pressure. You don't know what the next person is doing to get their money. So you should not be judging your 2 months of progress or someone's 10 years of progress. You should move at your own pace. And I feel like you should not let what other people say define who you are or define your progress in life. So that's what I have to say about that.
Okay, I think you just spoke to adults and parents who pressure their teenagers and compare them with other teenagers. So, Precious, what would be your advice to a teenager who feels pressured? Like she just said, when you come to social media, everything looks so perfect. Everything looks perfect and easy. Feel like you just, everybody's going to tech. Once you just go into tech, the next day you're a millionaire. So what do you have to tell a teenager that is under pressure to figure everything out just as fast or as soon as possible?
What I'll tell the teenager is just take it slow, calm down, because your time will reach, you will definitely blow. You're going to make it as far as you are in the right place and in the right way. You're going to make it.
Okay. So, in summary, you're trying to talk about patience.
Yes.
They should go through the process calmly, and at the end of it all, it will be rewarding. Okay, finally, in one sentence, what do you think? I'm asking you, what do you think teenagers truly need to thrive in the future?
I would say emotional intelligence.
Okay.
Because if you don't know how to communicate your emotions to the next person, you bottle everything up and bottle it up till one day you will not be able to take it anymore, and then you will just explode out and then pour everything out on one person. So I feel like once you know how to communicate your emotions to another person, you would feel better about yourself. You won't feel that, like say, weight of carrying everything by yourself. And then you can easily move. If you're not carrying something heavy on your back, that thing you want to tell another person, if you're carrying it on your back too much, you will be slow to weigh you down. So if you know how to communicate it to another person, you will move faster and more. So that will also increase your success, increase the way you increase your communication skills. Yes, so that's it.
Okay, in one sentence, what do you think a teenager needs to thrive in the future, apart from education?
One, because using this country for example, for it to thrive in the future, one needs to have patience.
Okay.
Because if you don't have patience, it's very hard for you to succeed in this life. Yes, because I've heard of people making 1,001 mistake before they get it right. So imagine you made the mistake 200 times, like I'm tired, something like that. So you need patience and you need a skill.
Okay. Patience and a skill.
Yes.
Okay. So patience is like you're telling them, don't give up.
Yes.
Even if you fail, keep trying until you get it right. So both of you have said today that every teenager needs the right communication skill, they need emotional intelligence, and they need patience to thrive. And somehow school doesn't teach all this.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Thank you both for coming to the TSK show. I love the conversation. I love the ideas you brought. And I believe that other teenagers can relate with what you've shared today. And we also encourage parents not to put so much pressure on their teenagers and not to compare them with other teenagers. And that we school cannot teach. I think the home should also help in building a teenager's confidence, building their communication skills, teaching them those soft skills that they need to thrive in life. So today's conversation has shown us that preparing teenagers for the future goes beyond academics and certificates. Real life demands confidence, emotional intelligence, communication, decision making, and the ability to adapt. So we agree that school is important, right? But teenagers also need guidance, they need exposure, they need real life skills to truly thrive. And most importantly, they need people. Right? Yes, they need the right people who will listen to them, people who will support them and prepare them for life, not just for exam. And this has to be the teachers, the parents, the mentors, the coaches, even our religious and traditional leaders also. So to every teenager watching, I want to tell you, keep learning, keep growing, and don't be afraid to become more than what the classroom alone can teach you. You can read books, explore, listen to mentors, and get close to a reasonable adult that will guide you right. So that's a wrap for today on the TSK show. My name is Ifeoma the Prof. Nwato. I'm your host, and this is Teens Should Know. Keep watching the TSK show on Signature TV, LCell TV, channel 265, and on our YouTube channel. Remember, knowledge is power, and you have been empowered with the right knowledge to thrive. So keep thriving. See you next time on the TSK show. Thanks for watching.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Development Discourse, where we ideate for Africa's development. My name is Patrick Okibo. I'm the founding partner at Next Year. And Next Year is a multi-competency advisory firm that's focused on, trying to solve Africa's complex development challenges. The world is undergoing a very profound transformation, rising geopolitical tensions, the erosion of multilateral cooperation, and the decline in international aid are reshaping the rules of global engagement. For Africa, a continent that is young, rich in natural resources, these shifts present both significant risks and maybe unprecedented opportunities. African leaders must confront these hard questions, some of which, what role should Africa play in the emerging global order, and how can it reposition itself to safeguard and advance its interests? Joining me today to discuss the new world order and Africa's development is Ambassador Joe Keshi. He's the president of the Association of Retired Career Ambassadors of Nigeria. He served as permanent secretary in Nigeria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Cabinet Secretariat under two presidents, Olusegun Obasanjo and Umaru Yar'Adua. Over his 34 years diplomatic career, he's held postings to Togo, Ethiopia, Belgium, the Netherlands, Namibia, the United States, where he was the Consul General. He also played a key role in peace negotiations that ended Sierra Leone's civil war. He was also the chairman of United Bank for Africa PLC during one of its most aggressive expansions through Africa. He was the founding director general of Brest Commission, a development agency that was set up to solve the development challenges in Nigeria's Niger Delta. He is a recipient of the Officer of the Order of the Niger and many other distinctions. Ambassador Keshi, welcome.
Thank you, Patrick. Thanks for having me.
Great. So maybe we start from the beginning. And so what is your understanding of this new world order, and how is it different from, what I guess is now the old order or the disappearing order?
Well, quite frankly, Patrick, we are not yet too sure whether it's disappearing, or whether it has some more years to stay. But what is certain is that we are in an era of uncertainty as a result of some of the factors you have named. But the truth is that unlike the old order, which was rule-based and which was established post-World